Griswold's actually one of the oldest home care franchises in the country. So it's been around for 40 years. It was started by a woman named Jean Griswold. She was a woman that was diagnosed with MS, wheelchair bound. Her husband was an ordained minister. A member of their church, unfortunately, passed away from dehydration because she lived alone. She couldn't get the help that she needed. So Jean saw this need in her community and started this in-home care business. So it was really started out of, a need in her community. It is a newer location here in Minnesota. So Nicole and I, knowing that history of Griswold, we really wanted to bring that history and experience to the Minneapolis and Twin Cities area. I think our approach to care is a little bit different too. I mean, as you can tell, we have our therapy dogs sitting on our lap, so that's a big part of it too. It's not just the care that we provide for the clients. We also want to be a part of the community. These families are trusting us to take care of their loved ones, to come into their homes, and there's a lot of trust there. So it's important to us that we also work in the community as well, and we do that by some of our Griswold givebacks, some volunteering work. Nicole will take the dogs to memory care units, to the hospitals, things like that are really just our way of getting out and working with the community.
There's something about dogs, I feel like, that people just feel like they can trust you instantly. If your dogs love you, then, people trust you too. I take them everywhere I go. So if I go to a facility, if we have a potential family that's looking for help with their loved one, but the family member's resistant to care, this is a fun way for me to kind of get to meet families without it feeling so intimidating.
And one thing that has been so fun to see is when I've gone with Nicole to do some of these visits into like the memory care units, and it's amazing what bringing an animal in there can do.
Well, I got Cindy, and that's everything. I don't have much more to say. She's doctor, nurse, cleaner, companion, good friend.
So with Rick, I come in and I do some light housekeeping. There's some things too, just companionship, that we sit and we're able to talk, and we've just connected from day one. And so it's been nice. I feel like I've just met a new friend through this whole journey too. I just think with animals, they're so intuitive, right? And, I think they just bring a lot of calm to people too. And too, a lot of people can't have a pet and the responsibility of it full time. So it's nice to be able to bring those pets in.
It's too hard to have a pet here, with taking them out in the winter time. And I'm a farm boy pet guy, I love it, yeah.
I had a very close relationship with my grandmother growing up, and I was very active in her care later on, and it was important to me to help her live as independently as possible. And seeing what that brought to her, that joy of being able to still be able to maintain staying in her own home, was important. And it's just something I've always wanted to kind of come back to doing, and it's been a blessing. They think that I'm doing them a favor by coming in, but what they have offered me and what they've done for me is beyond words. It's very rewarding to be able to help someone with just daily tasks that we take for granted every day, and to be able to help them is just one of the best joys that I've had. So it's been a blessing.
Patrick is a perfect example of what I feel like our caregivers can do, bring people to life. He just was in love with the dogs, wanted them to stay there with him by the time we were ready to leave. And also the things he said about Cindy, it's so true. They've really bonded. They've made such a strong connection, and he was feeling that he was declining in his health, and that since Cindy's been coming, he doesn't have the chronic pain that he was suffering from.
Through the pandemic and when all that stuff happened, Nicole and I were both in a point in our careers where we were really looking for something different. Me specifically, I wanted to do something that helped people, that made a difference in our community. Also during that pandemic, we had our second daughter, and my grandmother at the time was in a facility, and it unfortunately was during lockdown, so we had to introduce our daughter through the window to her. She never got a chance to actually meet her, and who's to say if she would have been able to stay in her home with home care? I don't know, but it just kind of made us change our career path and our perspective. And so that's kind of how we decided to go into doing home care.
Losing grandparents through the pandemic was traumatic, but what I feel like I'm most proud of is how we've been able to turn that around and now get to help other families.
You know, our logo, you see it right on there, the Live Assured, that's kind of our promise to our clients' families, that we're going to take care of you, right? We're going to make sure that mom and dad have the care that they need so that they can stay at home. We're going to send people that are qualified and caring and do a good job and really help mom and dad be able to maintain their independence and continue to live at home.
We're just really grateful to get to be a part of the community and that people will trust us and continue to call and continue to show up. And every day it's so much fun.